There we go. So, hello everyone and welcome. This is the September uh, Paper Perfection Card Club class for complicated names. So, I am going to walk through each of the cards, one right after the other. So, you will not likely be able to craft along with this, but this will give you all of the tips and tricks that I have. I'm not actually going to make the full card yet. We'll circle back and do some of that. But this is the tips and tricks, and you can stop this and start this and listen to each card as you're starting to work on it. But then you don't have to wade your way through all of our chit chat and everything else that will come after this part. So, let me put this down to the crafting area. I will apologize as I do that. It is a sunny day, and because it is the morning here, the sun is
You,
coming into the craft studio and making funky shadows on my paper. And I have no curtains to pull or blinds to pull or anything. So we're just going to kind of go with it. Okay, card number one. You have supplies to make two of each, and these two will be slightly different because we are cutting from paper that is not entirely uniform. This is the sheet of paper that we are using. We are cutting up, and then we're going to cut, it cuts basically into three, so it's three quick and easy cards. Only little tip here, you'll notice this from this side, my pears are standing, laying flat. You want to make sure your pears are upright, and you're going to cut this and use these pieces. And so that's how you cut your paper. And then you are going to be ready for card making. In your envelope, you will notice you have some basic white cardstock, and you will notice somebody was hungry. Little mouse had a nibble out of the corner. And for those of you that have crafted with me for a while, you may know this little trick, but if you're newer to my group, you may not, because I don't always do it when I'm doing in-person sessions. But this is my indicator to you that this is a piece of cardstock that you are going to stamp on or something, die cut or something. You're not going to use this whole piece as a layer. Okay, so that's what that little bite out of the edge indicates to you. Okay, you have a piece of mossy meadow cardstock. You have a darling duckling card base. And you also have, whoop, hiding in the bottom perhaps, a darling duckling labeled with love punch piece for your sentiment. Okay, so we'll start with our stamping. And you're going to stamp your sentiment on here, whatever you like. I have used, on my samples, I used A Good Friend is a Gift, but you can use whatever you want that fits on there. Or if you have Darling Duckling cardstock, you can make your own piece, whatever size you need. What I do want to show you, though, is this part. Okay, this is two-step stamping. So again, I'm using stamps from the Perfectly Pears set. This is the outline, and then this fills in the pears. Okay, so I am just going to come in with the, did I say Old Olive or Mossy Meadow? I don't even remember. I think I said Mossy Meadow. Oh no, that was for the sentiment. Okay, sentiment I did in Mossy Meadow. I'm going to do my pears. They might actually be in Mossy Meadow. They look like it in my real life sample. So just give me half a second here to grab Mossy Meadow. There we go. And I am just going to stamp the outline stamp first. Now I have colored these leaves with the light Old Olive Stampin' Blend, okay? And the dark, I colored the stem with the dark Crumb Cake Stampin' Blend. You can use Stampin' Right markers. You can leave them white. You can use your aqua painter, water painter. You can do whatever suits your needs to add a little color to that if you wish. Okay. I'm now going to come in with my Old Olive, and I'm going to, and my Darling Duckling. Always start with your lighter color. Okay, so Darling Duckling is lighter than Old Olive. And I'm going to put ink on my fill-in pear parts piece. I'm going to come in with a sponge dauber and Old Olive, and I'm going to pick up some ink, and I'm just going to dab it around the edge of the pear a little bit. Okay. You probably can't see that on camera. It's pretty tricky. I can't
Mhm.
even really see it in
Can
person.
see it.
Can you see a little difference?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then what you want to do, you want to hover over your stamp. You want to try and get your head as close as you can. How far down can I go here? I can go down a little bit further so I don't poke
Oh,
into
can you
the
go?
camera. And then you're just going to stamp it on to fill in your pear color. And now you can see that I have two-tone pears.
Neat.
So it just makes them a little bit interesting. Now, if you have uh, the Perfectly Pears bundle, you have a die that will cut this out, and you will end up with that. If
All
you
right.
don't have a die for this, you probably didn't have a stamp for that either, and you're using something from your stash, so you can uh, do whatever you can do with the stuff from your stash for that. Or if you want, there is a piece of paper in your kit that has the exact thing that we're using. So the die will actually cut this out. The die will cut this out. The die will cut that out. The die will cut these flowers out. So there are dies to cut everything other than the little yellow flowers on this paper. Or you can fussy cut these, and then you will have two-tone pears and branches and everything that you need for these cards right there. Okay? So you have some options with that. I stamped my sentiment to one edge so that I could put the pear pieces onto the edge of the sentiment piece. So just make sure you have an idea where you want it. This one, obviously, I didn't want to put pears over top of my paper, so I put them on this end. This one, I had white space everywhere. I decided to do it the other way. Okay? And this whole section is adhered with dimensionals. So that's card number one. Okay, card number two is hiding way down here. Okay, here we go. Card number two. There's not a whole lot of uh, tricky or anything that you need to figure out for this. I'm pretty sure I remembered to cut all of the designer series paper arches because at first I had forgotten. But I think hopefully everybody has those cut. Um,
Yep.
Little sentiment piece. And then the jar. You will have some jars and some jar lids. And you want to kind of decide where on your paper once you've cut decided which one you're going to use with which card, where you want it, what something different pattern or whatever. At the in-person class, a number of people ended up turning the patterned pear paper over to the more subtle design and use that. Okay, so whatever you like, um, you can make it however you wish. So, couple,
Not those little pieces, the jar.
they should be in the envelope. It's the jar lid,
Yeah. Just
and
looking for
I
the jars. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got it. It's in a
found them.
different envelope. Whoops.
Oh,
Yeah.
could be, yes. Sometimes if there's some little pieces, I don't put it in with everything else. I put it in the extra envelope just just so it's a little you're not pulling everything out and flicking stuff onto the floor. So when you
Yes.
adhere the jar lid, you want just a tiny little bit of adhesive on the bottom of the lid, and then it'll just go right on the top edge here. Okay, oops. And if you don't slide it around too much, like I'm doing, you hopefully will get glue outside of the lid area. So you're just going to assemble that before you put everything together. And then you have a piece of ribbon that you can just decide where you want it on your card. Your jar is going to go on with dimensionals over top. And you can put your jar wherever you want. You can put it on a jaunty little angle, whatever you like. I put it on with dimensionals, and then the sentiment piece is flat where it's touching the jar that's already popped up, and then just a little sentiment piece under the dangling end. Okay. I also have the Misty Moonlight Arch adhered with dimensionals. Okay. So that is card number 2. A few little tips. Card number 3 is pretty straight, can be pretty straightforward. So you have Old Olive card base. Well, I don't think I showed you what was in the last envelope. Shall we jump back just so you know you've got all your pieces? You have um, Misty Moonlight Arch and Misty Moonlight card base. You have an embossed petal pink piece. You have the uh, die cut designer series paper. Oh, look, this was on my package of pieces because I had put glue dots on it and then I realized I didn't need it. Apparently,
Oops.
we're still stuck. So that's where my ribbon's going. I can probably pull it off, but you also have 2 basic white pieces, one for each inside of your card because this is a dark card base. You're going to need a white inside piece for that. And then you should have uh, 2, your jar and the lid and the sentiment piece and the ribbon. Okay, so that's what we had for number 2 there. Uh, Card number 3, you've got your old olive card base, and now I've moved that envelope. Where did I put it? There we go. I don't know whether this was it, but this will work. Okay, old olive card base. It is it. Again, you have a basic white layer for the inside of your card because old olive it's one of those in between. Maybe you could write on it, maybe it's too dark, but you have inside pieces. You have an old olive layer. You have a secret sea layer. You have a darling duckling layer. And you have a darling duckling strip for your sentiment. Okay. I've used a different sentiment from the pear set. You can use whatever you like on there. I used Happy Birthday from Beautiful Butterflies, but again, you can use anything you like. And then you just cut your designer series paper and it is just layered up. The option comes in. So I did this card and stopped here because I've got this beautiful pear and this pear slice right front and center on my card. And I like that. Oh, sorry, those shadows are a little mean, aren't they? What I did for this second card was I've cut the paper so it's just flowers. And then um, I had made this pear, which is the same as the first pears, but with 3 colors. So, oh, did I give you I did. I gave you another piece of basic white with a bite out of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is for the big pears that I forgot to put onto a stamp. So the big pears, and um, you can stamp the outline first or the inside first. There's no right or wrong. I personally find it easier to stamp the the outline first, but I didn't even use the outline on this one. So never mind that. You can if you like. I just stamp. I'm looking at this going, yeah, and I think it's because I didn't know what color to use because I didn't want it to really stand out. Like on this one, you can really see the outline, and I didn't want that on this one. I just wanted the pear showing up. So I'm going to leave an outline off, and we will jump right to making the pear. So this one, you're going to start with petal pink, and I've inked the whole thing And then I'm coming in with my Darling Duckling second, and I'm going to go down this side because this is where the texture is, and it didn't show up very well there. So I'm going to come down uh, kind of not quite at the edge here into in from the edge just a tiny bit because then I'm going to come in with my old olive and put it down the very edge here. So you always want to start with your lightest color, moving to your darkest color, because when you use your dauber on here, you will pick up a little bit of the ink that is there. But because you're going to a darker color, you're not going to really contaminate your ink pad. So if you've taken a little while to do this, thinking about what to do and where to do and everything, you might want to huff on it so you get it moist again. And then you're just going to stamp it. And oh, okay. So it's a little bit of a striped pear. It should have been a little less defined in those things, but so I would probably do him again. But you have lots of paper. You can get, I'm sure you could, so stamp close to your edges. It's just basic white if you mess up a few times, but you should, well, I don't know, because you got to get some stems out of there. But anyway, it's just basic white. If you don't like what you did, try again with some more paper. And it's not terrible, and I might even be able to come in and sort of salvage this just with my dauber to make it.
That's what I was thinking. Just use the dauber.
Just add it right onto there, yes. Which I suppose you could do even. It's more fun when you do it on the stamp then, though, because then you get this big, oh, look what I did. I don't like it.
I think somebody's missing some secret C strips because I have
Uh-oh.
too many. I have too many.
Oh, you have too many? Oh, dear.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have four pieces of the long one and two pieces of the short one. So
Oh, yes, I missed that. Oh, you should. Four pieces of the long one. Okay, you should not have four
yeah,
pieces of the long one.
yeah, right.
Lorna, do
Yeah.
you have long secret C strips for the edge of your card?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I will check the one kit that I have here to see if it's missing them. And all the in I don't think anybody was missing it from the in-person uh class last week. And if they were and I've forgotten, I would have just cut them some. So we're all good. Okay, look at that. Now it's more kind of, you
Oh
know,
yeah. Looks
random.
good.
So there.
Looks good.
As Lorna would
Yeah.
say, everything can be fixed. The other thing Lorna always reminds me of is that I usually send two-sided cardstock. Okay.
Thank
Anyway, that's
goodness.
what you do. And this again is a die, so you can die cut this. The leaves I just stamped with the from the stamp set. I just did them all in one color. Okay. So they are all just hmm, mossy meadow.
No, they're not.
Old olive, maybe. No, they're old
Really?
olive, I
They're
think.
all one color?
Yes, the stamp
Oh,
does that for you.
okay. Oh, but you
So
did the
I
two
did the two
layer.
pieces. So I did the
Right.
outline
Okay.
and I did the fill-in, but these
Okay.
stamps create shading for you automatically. So that's why
Yeah, I
the
love that.
look, like they're not just solid. So
Yeah.
that's how we did all of that. And then, as I say, putting this onto here is entirely optional. This I thought was a little bit busy, but this one, I think I'm going to like to have it because this is a little bit plainer piece. So plan where you cut your designer series paper if you for sure want to do that. Again, if you don't have the stamp set or you don't want to play around with all of this, you can cut one of these pears and one of these stems, and there you go. You'll have it all. Okay. So those are my tips and tricks. Oh, sorry, one other thing. So you put this Secret Seed, the full-size strip down first, and then I built this whole layered section, put the whole thing on with dimensionals. And this sentiment again is flat on here, and then dimensional, just one dimensional under this edge, so it dangles over but is supported. Okay, so there's the three cards, and whoops, kind of in the shade, in the sun, in the anyway, hopefully you can see those. You have the PDF tutorial to guide you, and now you have some tips and tricks. So there we go.
Can I see that other strip of DSP for the third card again, please? The
Sure.
one with the, oh yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Okay,
I
so
like that.
there's some that's just flowers, and then there's some that has more of the pears and stuff. You can just
Hmm,
sort of do it random and get what you get, or whatever you like.
right.
Okay, I am just going to stop the recording here. So I'll say happy card making.